Hi, I'm Dr. Eric Gibbelew, and this video is about major scales on the guitar. I will teach you what a major scale is, how it is built, and how you can use one basic pattern to play any major scale on the guitar. Listen to this excerpt from Ferdinando Carulli's Andante. Pay attention to the melody notes, which are highlighted in blue. Here it is again with those melody notes labeled. See if you can sing along with it this time. Perhaps you can hear how this music divides into two phrases. The first phrase ends with the pitch D in the melody, which sounds musically incomplete. It feels like the music needs to keep going. The second phrase ends on the pitch C, which sounds more final because that pitch feels stable. This is because C is the home note, or tonic, in this example. If we organize this collection of pitches to begin and end on tonic, then we have a C major scale. Here is what that looks like in standard notation. Notice that the intervals between notes in the scale are either whole steps or half steps. Here's the thing to remember. This pattern of whole steps and half steps is always the same for every major scale. A useful way to think of the major scale is to use numbers. Here's the C major scale labeled with scale degrees. Notice the half steps are between scale degrees 3 and 4 and 7 and 1. The major scale will always have half steps in these locations no matter which pitch the scale starts on. Now let's take a moment to understand how half steps and whole steps work on the guitar. A half step or semitone is the smallest interval in Western musical notation. On a guitar string, a half step is the distance of 1 fret. A whole step is the distance of 2 frets. To help us understand half steps and musical notation, let's take a look at the chromatic scale, which moves entirely by half step and illustrates all 12 pitches within an octave. An ascending chromatic scale is written with sharps, while a descending chromatic scale is written with flats. Notice that the pitches E and F are a half step apart and do not have any pitch between them. The same goes for the pitches B and C. Now, back to the C major scale. So let's look at how we can play that on the guitar. Notice we are playing 3 notes per string, starting on string 5, fret 3. So let's play it together. 1, 2, ready, go. So notice that the scale goes through 2 octaves. It starts on a C, we get to a C right here again, which completes the first octave, and then we go 1 more octave further and end up here on high C. We can also see the whole steps in the scale, which are notes that are 2 frets apart, such as the first 2. The notes that are on adjacent frets are a half step apart, like from fret 4 to 5. Then also pay attention to your left hand fingering when you're playing this. I like to start with first finger and then second finger and then fourth finger. It's a bit of a stretch at first, but you get used to it if you practice it. Remember that the pattern of intervals in the major scale is always the same no matter which pitch you start on. This is great news for us guitarists because that means we can shift the same scale pattern up and down the fingerboard to play different major scales. Watch how we can shift the C major scale pattern to the 5th fret, and now we have the D major scale. Let's play this one together, and we'll go up and back down. 1, 2, ready, go. If we move the pattern to the 7th fret, now we have the E major scale pattern. Let's try that one. 1, 2, ready, go. By the way, this pattern of playing 3 notes per string is great for playing melodies and improvising solos. Because of the guitar's tuning, the fingering pattern of the major scale is slightly different if you start on the 6th string. So you'll notice that you'll shift up a fret 1 string later at a certain point in the scale. But it's basically the same shape overall. So here's the G major scale pattern, and we can play this together. 1, 2, ready, go. If we move this pattern up to the 5th fret, then we are now playing the A major scale. Let's try that one. 1, 2, ready, go. And if we go up 1 fret further to the 7th fret, then now we have a B major scale. So let's try this one. 1, 2, ready, go. If you memorize this major scale pattern, then you can play any major scale on the guitar. Just find the starting pitch on string 5 or 6, and then plug in the major scale pattern. To help reinforce these concepts, pick up my free Major Scales on Guitar PDF at the link below. You can support this channel by purchasing sheet music, making a donation, or simply by liking and subscribing. Happy practicing!